Alright guys, Casual K Kyle here, and today we've got the Manhattan mod. So the Manhattan mod is this whole thing that Ameravape gone through. You know, I don't even really want to get into that freaking drama, but I figured, you know what, this is supposed to be a competition mod, and I decided to put a competition RDA onto it, and I decided to stick on the Doge RDA onto it. I just got this bad boy. This thing all is freaking, you know, it's the Doge RDA, and it rips hard, and it still has juice right now. Yeah, it rips hard, and I figured, you know what, if I'm going to cloud chase it, I'm going to cloud chase it. So I'm running a 0.1 ohm coil, just 0.10 flat, which is a little bit dangerous, but what are you going to do? So yeah, I just figured, let's go all cloud chasing, because it's a competition mod, and you're supposed to go all cloud chasing, but we're not really talking about that much. We're talking about the Manhattan mod, and there was a lot of drama that went through with the Manhattan mod. It got cloned, and Ameravape got really pissed off about the clone, and they were threatening to stop production and all that crap, but I think we're past that now, because Ameravape has made some new mods, and they look pretty cool too, so they should just keep what they're doing, and just make their mods, and make some money, and just ignore the clones, because the clones is it's just gonna drag it down. Let's just face it. I'm actually gonna move my mic a little bit. A little better? A little better? Hear me a little better? Yeah. Alright. So we're gonna blow some clouds on this, and then we'll take her down, and we'll look at the cool stuff in the Manhattan. Alright guys, so here's the Manhattan all close up, and I'm gonna take her apart here, and we'll check her out. So pretty much all the threads on this, just want to go through this really quick. The threads are really nice in here, and they are not 20:1 threading. They're a little bit wider than that, so there's some wide threading in there, which is nice. It's got some nice wide threading. I'm running a LG battery in here, 35 amps, so you know, I'm going as safe as I possibly can with that coil. So what we got here for the top cap, it's all brass. This entire one is brass. You can also get an aluminum one, and you can also get a copper one if you can find these. These are a little bit hard to find. And yeah, so the way you adjust on this is a little bit wonky on the top cap. It could have been a little bit better, but they could have just done a floating pin, but they did this thing where you take the Delrin thing right here, unscrews and screws in. So you just you know, I just unscrew it pretty far, and then I'll put on my RDA. So we're slapping on the Doge. Let me move this over. So we're slapping on the Doge, and you just screw on the Doge, or whatever RDA you're using, and then you just screw this in until you can feel it make contact. Oh yeah, I'm making contact. And it's got copper pins on the top and the bottom with a solid brass or solid copper, whichever, or solid aluminum. But the thing with the tube is really nice. It's really thick, but it does make it really heavy. This is a really heavy mod. That's one con I've got to say about this mod, is it's really freaking heavy. Like, you put it in your pocket, and you got, like, you know, if you got like running shorts on with pockets, it's like gonna pull your pants down pretty much. Like, it's really heavy. And I do like how Ameravape, their logo is an ambergram. It says Ameravape. Flip it over, it says Ameravape. It's cool. A little ambergram on there, and you can put it on the top of your mod, you can put it on the bottom of your mod, whatever you want to do. I like it on the top, but it's not too busy on here. It just, you know, they just put their logo on there, and they're done. That's it. And there's no logo on the bottom or anything. So this is just solid brass right here, and this button does not have a locking switch. And yeah, it just, you know what? It's just two solid earth magnets inside here, held together with this copper pin and the bottom button right here screwed together. It's not really worth taking apart, because it's just two massive magnets in there, and I don't want to reverse them, so I'm just going to keep this how it is. It's got a pretty sturdy throw. That's one thing about it. Like, if you don't like a really hard throw, like, you're going to know when you're hitting the button on this. You know, it's I like it. You know what? I like the button. It's a cool, and it's not like scratchy. It's just nice and smooth, and it, you know what? It works. It's a button. You know what? Buttons are buttons. But this is a heavy part, and then the tube's a heavy part, and then yeah, when you just screw it on together, it just flows together so nicely, just really nicely smooth and on together. And it's got a nice, if I didn't say already, a nice brushed finish all over the entire mod. So, how to install the battery? Really easy, actually. You just take your bottom here, battery goes on by the magnet. Look at that, it's pretty awesome. And then you take your mod and you just slide the battery up in there, screw her in. Then you take your old top cap right here, which is already adjusted with your RDA, and you just screw that guy on in there, and you are done. There's no need to adjust for battery rattle because the magnet is so strong on the bottom that it'll keep the battery in place, and when you hit the button, it will push the battery up towards the other contact. So, and actually for this one, the Doge RDA has such a long pin that it actually doesn't have any battery rattle, but it will sometimes with some other RDAs have some slight battery rattle. But as you can see, it just pushes the battery up. It pushes this little pin up. The little pin can push the battery up away from the magnet, and vapors can happen. So that's pretty much the entire thing for this mod. It's not a super complicated mod, but it's all really solid, and it has low voltage drop. The threads are nice. There's really nothing bad I can say about this mod, other than if it had a floating pin on top, probably would have been a little bit easier to put your RDAs on. Other than that, it's freaking solid, and I do like how it has copper pins. I don't like how you have to clean your copper pins, but you know what, I think mine are pretty clean as of now. Yeah, I freshly polished these like a couple days ago or something, so they're actually pretty good right now. But yeah, they do get a little bit grimy. I had this for probably like about a month or something, and I was noticing that it wasn't firing as well. But yeah, that's the entire mod. It's actually really kind of pretty. One thing, if you like flush mods, it's not going to fit flush with any of your 20mm or 22mm atomizers. That's just one thing, because it's so solid. It's like the Cartel. The Cartel goes and then it whooshes in a little bit on the Cartel. This one just kind of doesn't do that. But it's just, they made it with a thicker piece. And yeah, so when they make it thick, it's going to hang over. But there's a lot of people who are doing 26-650 mods and they're putting on their 22mm. So I don't think it's a big deal really anymore. I think people are used to this. But yeah, let's take it back up to normal view. We'll blow some clouds and we'll get out of here. Alright guys, so you saw it up close, you saw all the good little knickknacks in there. It's really, really simple mod, but it you know what, it produces really well, and like they said, it doesn't really get hot that often. I'm really using this battery up. Luckily, I can only take like 3-second pulls, or like at the maximum with this because it's so low. But actually, you know what? I'm liking this Doge already. I just got this today, and I decided, hey, if I'm going to do this video, I'm going to do it right. So, what's the most douchebag thing you could do other than put a competition mod on a competition RDA, right? That's what you got to do. I don't know if they really classified the Doge as a competition one, but they just said, hey, it's massive airflow, and it's got massive cooling rings, and then you can also get a different top cap that's got it's pretty much a chuff enough top cap, but it's metal. And yeah, so that's pretty much that on the Doge, so I just figured it would sit really nicely on this Manhattan. And the Manhattan, although all the drama happened, I gotta say the Manhattan is actually a pretty sweet mod. Besides all of the drama and fucking crap that happened, it's actually a pretty sweet mod. It hits nice. It doesn't, I never have problems. You can hit this on the side. Doesn't matter where you hit it, it's gonna produce. So you just have to, you just have to do that. And it doesn't have a locking ring, because when you set down on the table, the magnets are so strong that it will not fire. And actually, it's never fired in my pocket. Just putting that out there. I'm just putting that out there. It's never fired in my pocket. And, oh yeah, one thing. When you're building with this, I would suggest while you're building with a Manhattan, this is one thing that happened to me, and it was pretty bad. Alright, so I was putting a coil in. I had already put my coil in, and I was screwing down, and I was getting that last bit where you push down and you get the tightest connection you possibly could, and I went and just fired it. It just went and fired, and I was like, fuck, and it burned my fingers. Like, it just burned them pretty bad because I had my finger right there and it just like singed it pretty good. So I would suggest, if you're gonna build on this mod, like I know a lot of people like to build on their mod, take the battery out. Just take the battery out because it doesn't have a lock switch and you want to have it locked usually when you're building. So that's what I've done. If I'm gonna build, I'll just be like, all right, cool, I'll just build. And swapping out batteries on this thing is easy as shit because everything's already adjusted up here, and you just take it out from the bottom, pop in a new battery, and screw it back in. And it's really just really easy and really simple mod. And the magnet's so strong that, you know what, when you're done building, you got all that extra canthol sitting on your table, you can just with the little magnet on the bottom, and it'll stick it all up, and then you can just gripe it off and throw it in the trash. And it's actually, I've used it for that a lot. Like, look, here's my screwdriver and my scissors, just kind of doing that thing. So I've noticed if you've got your table there sitting here with all your metal products, like, you can just, ooh, what do I want, you know, like, oh shit, and that's just, oh crap. So when you're setting this thing down next to your tools, be careful because it'll just pick up everything, and that can be a little bit annoying. But let's blow some clouds, and yeah, we'll see how this thing performs, really. Alright, you guys can see how far away I am? Just covered the screen a little bit. So, what I gotta say about this mod, I like it. Didn't get hot from any of that. It's a little bit lukewarm from my hand. That's about it. And normally on any other mod, it'd be pretty hot right now because this coil is too low for it. So, gotta give it the ups on that. It's pretty solid, and I do like this mod. I would recommend it, but there's a lot of drama. You know what? Do it at your own pace. There's a lot of mods out there. There's a lot of mods that hit hard. There's a lot more magnet mods that you could choose from, but this is a good one. This is a solid mod. But if you want a flush mod that has magnets and stuff, there's other mods you could look into. But as far as this one goes, this is a solid, good mod. I don't really have anything bad to say about it other than all the shit that the company had to do and go through and deal with. It's just, I wish they didn't do that because it just kind of ruined a lot of stuff about them, and it made a lot of hate come out for them that they really didn't need. If they would have said nothing, it would have been great. And the whole thing with the other reviewers, like, where you can't say anything bad about it, the airflow on the bottom, the little guys right here, I'll take it out right now. The battery venting on the bottom should be good if it's a competition mod. You want to be pushing your batteries to the limit if you're doing that, I guess. And just in case your battery fails, you want good battery venting. And this thing does not have the best battery venting. It does have battery venting. I'm not going to say it doesn't have battery venting because it totally does, but I've seen a lot better of battery venting from other mods. So I can feel the air, but it's not going like a lot of other mods. You can just feel it, just like it'll do it. But this thing, you only need really what was it, like 1 pound of pressure, and it'll actually start blowing out. So I can do it with my mouth, and if you guys can, here, I'll put it up to the mic. Yeah, you could hear it. You could hear it then. That was probably really staticky, but yeah. So it does blow. And that wasn't from my nose or anything. That was actually it doing it. So it does have battery venting, just not the best battery venting. So that's all I got to say with this nice little Manhattan right here. And I'll catch you guys next Tuesday with, I don't know what to review yet, but we'll get to it. Catch you guys next time. And let's keep it casual, YouTube.